Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and back to another video. So today we're going to be going over a pretty crazy libs of TikTok video that I found on Instagram. I absolutely love this page because they expose the crazies without even having to give any commentary. It's like, look what's going on today. And you could just watch it for yourself and judge for yourself and see the insanity for yourself. So today we're going to be watching a video of a trans activist who is filming themselves at a restaurant and of course exaggerating the situation and trying to create a viral moment for themselves because they were mistakenly misgendered. People, at the restaurant weren't addressing this individual as the gender that they identify as. You could tell in the video that it wasn't done on purpose, that it literally was like a mistake, but of course you can't have any mistakes when it comes to this movement because you must see them as they see themselves, and if not, then it's a problem. And so this person decided to go on a tirade on this video and try to get the employees, fired and arrested, and big ol' mess. So we're gonna watch this video together. We're gonna watch the crazy together, analyze it, and try to make sense of the nonsensical. Here we go.
Sir, I know you're not talking to me. Are you talking to me? What?
What they say? Sir.
Sir?
Is there a reason you're misgendering?
You're calling me as sir? You're calling me as sir.
She's not a man.
Do I look
Film at me.
Do I look like a sir?
Don't film at me. Well, you have multiple people talking that you're misgendering her intentionally.
You know what you're doing. You know you're on a public sidewalk. Don't touch my shit.
Don't film me.
Don't touch
Don't
my
misgender
shit.
her, dude.
Don't be a disrespectful person. Don't be disrespectful. You're on a public.
So you can tell that this person, whoever they are, who's at the restaurant, they have a pretty thick accent. So I'm gonna assume that they're probably not normally of the Western culture, or at least they don't live, in the West with the craziness. So for them, they're like, listen, I know you identify as a she, but you look like a dude. That's pretty much what he's trying to say. Like, he's literally like, but you look like. And of course, the trans activist is not having it. But it just goes to show that culturally, that just because in this country we are so enthralled when it comes to the trans movement and having to co-sign people's delusions, it doesn't mean that other people who aren't of this culture are going to co-sign it as well. They're going to give it to you straight, as most people who live in different countries who don't follow the American Western culture are going to do. So for this person, they're like, okay, I know you're saying you're a girl, but you sound like a man and you have the features of a man, so I was just calling you what I thought you were. And the trans activist is like, I can't compute what. So yeah, this looks like a clash of cultures is what's happening right here. And I don't think that the guy is trying to purposefully make a statement or purposefully trying to hurt this person. I just think that in their mind they're like, oh, but you don't sound like a woman, And it really is innocent, but of course, this movement is not going to have that. So they're going to educate him today.
Public street. No one was talking to you. You talked to me first. Learn from this. Learn from this.
You are, sir. Well, to us, you're a asshole. How about that? Okay, thank you, guys. Go now.
What's the name of the restaurant? Hold on.
I'm going to make a statement.
Hi, is there a manager? Someone then who's in charge. You? The guy in the front is a asshole who's working at your front. Your host. Your host. So is there a manager or somebody?
Yeah, you're
Hi. Your host is an asshole. I'm walking past. He's calling me a man and a sir. And you're a man. Why the f is he even talking to me? It's not your fault. I'm just pissed.
It's principle of the thing.
He's an asshole screaming at me on the street.
Thank you.
You can't do that.
He was not screaming.
No, he can't.
I didn't think so.
Yeah, thousands of people just watched that on my
I'm
phone.
so sorry.
Yeah,
I apologize.
I'm pissed.
You see how they exaggerate the story, right? Like, I was walking by, he was screaming at me. That guy was not screaming. That guy was talking to you probably in a more calmer tone than you're talking right now as you're explaining this story. So it just goes to show how, in order to create a viral moment, you have to exaggerate the story and exaggerate the facts of the situation in order to make your story or your anger more digestible. But we all know that it's nonsense because he was not yelling or screaming at you. And I don't believe that they were just walking and he just said, sir, out of nowhere. I think that they must have had some type of interaction. And of course, because, people always put their video on after something happens, right? So we don't know what happened the moments before they had this interaction. We only know what happened after the interaction started. And based on this lie already that he was screaming, the credibility of this person is just not very strong. And I also love how they're like, and I have thousands of people watching right now. Okay, great.
This is the restaurant.
Nobody cares.
Right there.
Say you're sorry, guys.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You're an asshole.
Toast.
You. Off.
You.
Off. You. What's the name of the restaurant, please? Perfect. Great. Asshole.
No.
No. You.
Both of you fucking
You
suck.
could have said
You could've
something
jumped
too.
in.
You could have said
Triple
something.
down.
You. Off.
It doesn't matter. Calling someone
You could have
sir when
stood
they
up
said,
for
"I'm
me.
not
You
a
could have
sir."
stood up for me.
It doesn't matter. Doesn't
Learn
matter.
from this. Learn from it. Learn from
And
it.
he kept going, and that means he's a
People like me die every single day. People like me die every day because of people like you and him. So check. Yes,
were a bystander.
you could have stopped
were a
him and said
bystander.
something.
Who hopped in?
You
I
should have
fucking
said
did.
something to him.
You were a
You could have said
bystander.
something and helped me.
I'm good.
Who are you? Do you work here?
I'm the manager.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
You want to tell him?
Yeah. This host who just got brought in, by the way, so went out of his way to misgender her 3 times.
He said, "Excuse
We're
me,
walking
sir,
by and
sir,
called her
sir."
Just walking by. No, it's beyond.
It's
pale
beyond
unacceptable.
that.
He
I'm sorry, I can't. Like this mullet person, who I'm assuming also identifies as a woman. Okay. Is this effective? Is this really effective? You're screaming at a person, you're cussing them out, you're in their face, you're aggressively attacking them verbally, acting very masculine in this moment, right? Like, if you're trying to display femininity, this ain't it. This is giving testosterone on level 10 right now, which of course is also the irony, right? Because they want to portray themselves as women, and yet they're acting aggressive and angry and loud and asserting themselves in the way that a man will be asserting himself in a moment of disrespect that most women wouldn't do. So it's just funny to me how, like, even in these moments, like, the misogyny is just like shining through so strong, and they don't even realize it. Like, they benefit from being men in this moment because this is something that a lot of dudes would do in a moment of anger, right? Get in your face. Like, they don't feel intimidated by the guys that work at the restaurant because in their minds they're probably like, oh, we could take them. Now, most women wouldn't do this because most women are smart enough to know that getting in a man's face and being aggressive against a man in public who you don't know what that guy's gonna do. He may swing at you. So most biological females know how to navigate correctly because they're biological women and they have a different experience. But when you are a biological man, even though you want to present as a woman, you still are behaving like a man at the end of the day. And this behavior is Exhibit A, Mr. Mullet.
triple down on it. It's
I wasn't eating here. I'm coming down the sidewalk. He did it to me an asshole, and you stood there and said nothing. You allowed it and giggled.
I didn't giggle, dude. I didn't.
Yes, you did.
It was
Yes,
online
you
with
did.
thousands of people. So guess what? He's a bag, and he shouldn't even have a job.
What's the
with how
name
he
of your
behaves towards people
restaurant?
like
What's
that.
the
That is
name
some
of your
bullshit.
restaurant?
So what do you want?
What is the name of your restaurant?
Work here, my friend.
What's the name of your restaurant? So let me ask you this. Would you allow your host to be racist to somebody and say, well, he works here? So they're transphobic. Your host is attacking.
And there they go. But of course, in order to create a movement, a moment, and sympathy, you have to try to engage people by creating a false story. So now it's not about being transphobic, right? Supposedly. Now it's about being racist. If you don't stand up for me, then you're a racist. See how that just correlates with each other so naturally?
As someone from a specific minority community, I'm a trans woman. You don't care, clearly. Now I see why you hire the workers you do. The only
Yes, you're a trans woman. You are not a woman. So if a person sees you walking by and they mistake you as a man because you sound like a man and look like a man, you can't really get upset because biologically speaking, you are a man. So there's always going to be that chance that people may misgender you or not see you as the gender that you want them to see you as because you are trans. Trans means trying to transition to a different gender. It doesn't mean you're going to be a passable person who looks like the opposite gender. It just means that you identify as such. Hulk Hogan could identify as a woman as well. It doesn't mean people are going to see Hulk Hogan as a woman or they aren't going to accidentally call the she a he because they still have male features and a male voice. Sorry, but it's just true.
This person here, he understood
So
me.
what do you want to say to me?
And
I'm bad one?
Right?
well, clearly you're not running your business
I'm
properly.
coming here to see everything, and after I'm going to talk to him.
Fuck off. You do nothing. You're not even apologizing. You
I
don't.
say 5
You
times.
don't care
I
or
say
feel
5
bad.
times.
You have no
I say
remorse.
5
You have
times
no
to him.
remorse.
You
You have no remorse.
Okay, get the fuck out of here, both of you.
Yes.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
Osteria Barocca.
Get the fuck out of here, bro. I don't want to fucking see you. Get the fuck
You
out
don't
of
own the street, sweetheart.
There you go. Let them know. Oh, I love it. I love how that ended. I love how that ended. The manager was like, look, you ain't going to sit here and harass me, harass my workers, and make a moment for yourself. It ain't going to happen. If you want me to be woke and politically correct, wrong place. Get the F out. How about that? You've been screaming and yelling for the past 5 minutes. We've heard you loud and clear. Now bounce. Walk. There's the exit. There you go. And I love it because I think even the trans activists were shocked. They were like, because they're so used to being able to bully people and bully the public into affirming their condition and into co-signing their beliefs. And so if they scream loud enough, pedestrians and business owners are going to just be quiet and say, I'm so sorry, and write a statement and bow down to them because please don't cancel me. And I love that he was like, okay, bye, bounce. I love it. And I really feel like as a society, we have to continuously have that attitude because this movement is all about trying to control people, control their voices, control the narrative, control their reactions, control their businesses. And as a society, we have to push back and let them know that you have every right to say what you want to say. You have every right to scream and yell, but I also have a right to defend myself. I also have a right not to co-sign your behavior. I also have a right to coexist and to have my own beliefs and to not have to co-sign your beliefs in order to make you feel better while censoring me. Where's your freedom in that? How about just live your life? And the sad part about it is that I guarantee you that I'm sure that majority of trans people just want to exist peacefully. They're not trying to create viral moments like the Dylan Mulvaney's of the world, the Leah Thomases, and this fool. They're just trying to exist. But you have people like this, the culture vultures, who would try to create a moment for themselves to go viral and to be the face of a movement because that's more important to them than living in peace. Like, who cares? At the end of the day, who cares if he saw you as a man and he misgendered you while you were walking down the street, a stranger? Who cares? Or cuss him out and then keep walking. But the fact that you would go in the restaurant, film it, right? You're so distraught, but not distraught enough to do this. Of course not. So distraught, but in that moment of hysteria, you have to make a video about it. And you have to narrate as you're filming the interaction. And notice how they went from yelling at the guy who they had the interaction with to yelling at the hostess who wasn't speaking up for them to then yelling at the manager who wasn't defending them. It's like, let's be mad at everybody. How about yell at the woman down the street sitting on a bench who happens to be watching? Yell at her too. Like, you clearly want a moment. And like I said, I think it's our job as a society to continuously speak up, speak out, and not be afraid to do it unapologetically so. That could have been a moment for them to just say, hey, you called me a she, you call me a he, but I identify as a she, just letting you know. Okay, oh my bad, I'm sorry. Keep walking. That's it. But that's how that interaction could have went. But that was not the agenda of this person. This person wanted a moment, and they were going to fish for that moment. I want to show you guys another video that I actually highlighted on my shorts the other day about a mom in, I believe, British Columbia, Canada, and her child brought home a book. Now, this book is available for kids from the grades K through 7. So kindergarten through 7th grade. You can take home this book. Kindergarten, 5-year-olds. And I want you guys to watch this video. And when I say agenda, when I say a movement, this is what I mean.
So here's a video of a mom going through a book that was sent home with her child, K-7, and you can just see for yourself.
K-3, you got the basics, bigender, cisgender, demigender, what the f is that? Androgender, fluid, purgogender.
It goes on and on.
Intersex, jerks. What is that one? What? I can't even pronounce that. Off gender. Pangender. Gender questioning. Gender assignment. Subgender. Yes, it's transgender. Well, I don't even know what that one is. It is just Chinese gender. What the fuck?
5-year-olds. 5-year-olds are bringing that garbage to their homes. Now tell me, what 5-year-old, 6-year-old, 7, 8, 9, 10-year-old is even thinking about all of these gender identities, which all sound the same to me? I mean, if you actually look at the definitions, they all are the same thing, just worded differently, which goes to show you how insane this movement is, right? It's like, let's just create genders to create genders because we can and see what sticks. It's insanity is what it is. But here's the thing. If you want to read that as an adult, go right ahead. Enjoy yourself. Have fun. It's your life. I don't care. But making that type of garbage available to children, to 5-year-olds in kindergarten, what child is reading that? What child is picking that up consciously and wanting to learn about the 30 different gender identities of people who are suffering from a disorder called gender dysphoria? Something that affects only 0.1% of the population, by the way. But let's push this narrative down children's throats, because even though it's a very small minority, everyone has to know about it, right? Because it's so important. All this does is confuse kids who are just trying to navigate life as children, who are now being told, oh, boy, girl, not enough. Not enough. Wow. I saw that video and I couldn't believe, I thought it was a parody. It's like, this can't be real. This cannot be real. And the funny part about it is that somebody actually commented on the short that I posted. I'm going to go get that comment because it was crazy. So Aiden Edwards 4605 commented on the video and said that I had posted and said, LMAO, this isn't happening. Those books are probably available to those who may be questioning. Fear mongering is why we have this issue. So apparently I'm fear mongering, right? I replied, it is happening. And it's available for kids as young as kindergarten to take home. What 5-year-old is questioning gender at that age, or is requesting that topic at that age? Use your critical thinking skills. I mean, people like that really exist, that are willing to defend what we just saw in that video and call it hysteria and fear-mongering, because the people who are grabbing that book are just people who are already questioning their gender. So you're telling me that a 5-year-old who doesn't even understand what gender means is requesting that type of book and wants to learn about bisexuality at 5 years old? If any 5-year-old is grabbing a book like that, code red flag. What's going on in that home? That's what I want to know. And what's going on in your home that you would justify that type of behavior and try to normalize it as not a big deal? We're not talking about 12th graders. We're talking about kindergartners and 7th graders. We're talking about that age group. But this movement has gone so far off the rails that now books like this can be given to kindergartners and it's perfectly normal. And if you question it, you're just fear mongering. Yeah. Like I said earlier, this is why we must continuously speak out and push back. When people like the trans activists are in society screaming and yelling and trying to create a viral moment, it's our job to push back and not normalize this. Because when we normalize this and we look away and we bury our heads in the sand, we have children bringing home books like that because our society has normalized the crazy. No, not on my watch, not on my channel. Ain't happening. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think of the video that I reacted to. What is your perspective? How would you have reacted if somebody had try to create a viral moment at your expense? What would you do? Would you interact? Would you ignore them? Would you cuss them out? I want to know your thoughts, so let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoy my content, please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit my notification bell so you know when I post a brand new video. Until next time, peace.